Welcome to episode 220 of the 2 Minute Warning. Got a good video today. I'm going over the one NFL playoff team that no one in the NFL is really talking about. And that very team is the Indianapolis Colts. Now, if you're a Colts fan, you're probably like, oh, we have an amazing defense. We're the best defense in the league. What do you mean we're not being talked about? Shut up, you're a Colts fan. Obviously, you're going to talk about them. But if you just look around the NFL right now, what's trending, what's really being talked about is, oh my God, are the Chiefs going to go back-to-back? Are they the next dynasty? Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen's the best quarterback in the league. He deserves MVP. Baker Mayfield. Baker's so good now with the Browns. Steelers, they're on a 3-game losing streak. They suck. Tua, he's doing a great rookie. Brian Flores, can't get enough of him. The Tennessee Titans, Derrick Henry, can he do what he did in the playoffs last year? Ravens, will they even make the playoffs? Packers, how far can Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers' one-dimensional offense go? Saints, Drew Brees is in, but Michael Thomas is out. Buccaneers, are they the best team in the NFL or are they the worst team in the NFL? They're on and off every week. Rams, they just lost to the Jets. Should they even make the playoffs? Seahawks, they're starting to slow down. Offense is stagnant. What's wrong with Russell Wilson? Cardinals, everything's just about D-Hop and whether or not they'll make it or not. And then Washington football team, they shouldn't even be a playoff team, so I don't even know if that's an argument. But every team has some huge story about them going around. You got to figure them out. How good are they going to be? And then the Indianapolis Colts are just floating around being the 6th seed in the NFL, in the AFC, and no one's really talking about them. If you truly think about it, yes, we all know the Colts are there, but they're being 100% overlooked, just seen as an underdog. Just, oh yeah, they're in the playoffs or whatever. Like, no one is really talking about the Indianapolis Colts. And we really have to consider them a serious playoff team this year that I think could make a deep run in the AFC. With Phillip Rivers, he's been very quiet this year, but that is a good thing for Phillip Rivers. Most of the time we hear about him having turnover on turnover on turnover on turnover. And yes, he's made mistakes this year, but he's really being efficient in the games he's needed. He's had a few losses, losing to Tennessee, losing to the Ravens, losing to the Browns, and then losing to the Jags. But of 3 of those 4 losses are 2 more than likely playoff teams. And the Jags, that was a week 1 fluke. No training camps, no preseason. Colts were a new team together, having their quarterback not be with them before. It was a surprise game, first game of the season. Yeah, it was a tough loss, but I'm not gonna, blame them for it or just hackle them for it by any means. So, of those 4 losses, 3 of them were legit, and they're playoff teams. You can't really worry about it. I mean, there were good teams they lost to, but they've also beaten good teams as well. They themselves beat the Titans. They're going to play the Steelers this week. They'll likely beat them. I just think the Colts have a lot of potential. Their rookie running back is starting to take off. They just have a really good backfield. I mean, Marlon Mack's been out, but between Naheem Hines and their rookie Jonathan Taylor, that is a great backfield. And then at the receiving core, not the strongest by any means at all, but you do have some known names in there between Zach Pascal and T.Y. Hilton. And the defense, very, very good defense this year. What's his name? The amazing linebacker Darius Leonard is pretty much the star captain of that defense, but he's only the beginning. The Colts defense is arguably a top 5 in the league. I mean, between the Steelers defense, when healthy, them not having Bud Dupree and Devin Bush kind of hurts the Steelers defense, but between the Colts, Miami's defense, and the Rams defense, I'm not sure there's a defense the Colts fall behind, so they're arguably top 3, if not for sure top 5. I think they could make a deep playoff push. First round matchup, they're at the 6th seed and likely going to play the 3 seed, who is currently the Pittsburgh Steelers. We'll see that preview this very upcoming week. I think the Colts can upset the Steelers. They're 100%. The Steelers are, I don't want to say a laughing stock right now, but they're a big question mark right now for sure. And I used to say before, early in the season, Steelers best defense, Colts best defense, say they cancel each other out, and it just comes down to the offense. I'm rolling with Big Ben over Phillip Rivers due to Phillip Rivers and his interceptions and turnover problems. However, I don't want to say Phillip Rivers is brand new and different this year, but he's definitely cut down on the interceptions, and Big Ben has gotten worse on the turnover, so they kind of flipped roles, in my opinion. And I just think the Colts outmatch them on offense. They have a run game, unlike the Steelers, who have no run game at all. You might as well throw me in the backfield. I can't do much better than James Conner. At this rate, I don't know how much worse I could do. So I think the Colts could definitely outmatch the Steelers and get a first-round playoff win. Like I said, Phillip Rivers, as long as he does his job and doesn't turn it over, which he's been very solid at this year compared to his past few years on the Chargers, let Jonathan Taylor do his thing. Let the defense do their thing. Phillip, you just got to do your job and keep the ball in the offense, chew up some clock. I really like the Indianapolis Colts to make a good playoff run. They just destroyed the Oakland Raiders a few weeks ago. Kind of just a big brother destroying the little kid. I mean, they were favoring that game, and the Raiders aren't some huge team to talk about by any means. They're 500 right now at 7-7. However, I just think the Colts have a lot of talent, and being the underdog, they might go into these playoff games with a chip on their shoulder, showing they got something to prove. Phillip Rivers is on a one-year contract. He wants to give everything he's got and show I can still play in the NFL. I deserve another contract. I can even maybe take this team to the Super Bowl. Defense, like I said, it's going to be a little bit repetitive, but the defense is just stacked. Backfield is doing great, and the receiving core not solid, but it could get the job done with Phillip Rivers, who's arguably a Hall of Fame quarterback, depending on who you ask. So I think they get a first-round playoff win. Second-round playoff win is possible, but depends who they match up against. If they can play a Kansas City Chiefs, that's going to be tough for the Colts to pull off. But if they get a Buffalo Bills, that's tough as well. But just say they get a Tennessee Titans again somehow. I think that's possible. Say they get to match up and play the Tennessee Titans or Cleveland Browns. I think they could get a second win. Even against the Chiefs and Bills, it's not likely the Colts win. But like I said, not being talked about, being an underdog, having a chip on the shoulder, and having huge motivation, I would not be surprised if the Colts could pull off an upset against the Chiefs or Bills. I think they're pretty much, I don't want to say safe, but I think they're safe at beating any team in the AFC except for the Chiefs or Bills. I think they could beat the Steelers, they could beat the Titans, they could beat the Browns, they could beat Dolphins, they could beat the Ravens, even though that was kind of ugly matchup this year. I truthfully think Phillip Rivers pretty much having everything he has left on the line, getting rid of his problems. They're still apparent, but definitely not as hindrance, not as negative as he has been on the last few seasons of the Chargers. Like I said, just no one is talking about this NFL team. They're just sliding under the radar in the AFC, being a 6th seed. Every other team has their own glamorous thing to worry or to talk about, or their own problem to worry about. Like I said, Chiefs having a dynasty, Seahawks, Drew Brees being in, but Michael Thomas being out. Steelers are now sliding off. Bills and Josh Allen are on the steamroll and beating everyone they know. Bucks, best team in some weeks, worst team in the NFL other weeks, so on and so forth. Every team has their own nick or knack to just talk about. And the Colts, they're just being quiet, playing football, winning some, winning dominantly, losing a game here or there, but playing hard. I just think even a Chiefs or Bills, I don't see them blowing out the Colts. I don't see a single team blowing out the Colts in the playoffs. I think they're such a solid team. I think they could go to the playoff. I think they'll go to the playoffs. I think they'll make a solid playoff run, at least get one win minimum. I'm very confident in that. I think 2 wins is very likely, or likely getting to the Super Bowl and AFC Championship, or getting to the AFC Championship is possible. Getting 1 win is very likely. Getting a second win is likely. So making the AFC Championship has a decent chance, not the best ever, but I do think they have a decent chance, a likely chance. And then the Super Bowl, that's a stretch because that means they probably have to go through the Chiefs or Bills, if not both. And that's going to be really tough for me to just see happen. I think that's pretty unlikely to get through both of them. Like I said, an upset against one is one thing that is understandable and not super surprising, but to go through both, they're 2 of the hottest teams in the NFL right now. I don't know if the Colts can pull that off, but I do think they are anywhere from a 1 to 2 win playoff team that needs to be addressed more and needs to be considered more and needs to be taken serious more. Let me know if I'm crazy. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Any other videos you want to see? What Phillip Rivers should do this offseason? Will he be in the NFL next year? What the Colts need to address most? I think it's their receiving core. O-line is pretty solid. Defense is amazing. Like I said, backfield's great. 2 in the morning.